Hello. Okay, I just want to talk about some books and decks and stuff real quick. I'm still reading this book, The Witches, Werewolves, and Berries, Shapeshifters and Astral Doubles in the Middle Ages. It's very interesting, but it's also like a lot of information. I don't know. Like I love the stories and I'm having a good time, but it's also like I'm just doing other stuff too, I guess, you know. So, I'm not very far, but it's good. I don't know what else to say. um maybe it's not maybe it's like not as good as I want it to be, but I don't think that that's true. It's like how do I say, I don't know. I definitely like relate to like how this is being written, where it's just like and then it's like another like little story of or example, you know, like it's more like academic, I guess, which I enjoy, but sometimes I want not that. So I'm reading it alongside other stuff, which is like stuff I finished. So I read this book too in that time, and this is good. This is also good, and it's sort of like a similar topic, truly, but I don't know, just like really like I was telling a friend that I liked this book and they're like, is it more like historical or practical? And it like the other book, it's more historical stuff, but in that you can sort of piece out like some practical things too. I really liked it a lot. And it's super short. I read it in like a sitting. And then sort of like looked back at things as well. But the book itself is like really like hard and like weird. But this one I really liked too. It was just like a nice little fun thing, I guess. And this one, I guess I'll say the title out loud: By Moonlight and Spirit Flight, the Praxis of the Otherworldly Journey to the Witch's Sabbath. By Michael Howard. Yeah, so it's cool. Ooh, Wicked Women, Perverted by the Devil. Hell yeah. Love that. Okay, and I read this book as well. It has like a really gross like rose petal finish cover, which is just like covered in like my life. But this book is 6 Ways, Approaches, and Entries for Practical Magic by Aidan Watcher. This book is cool. I really like this. I read it really quickly, and you can see that I liked it. And I'm dog-earing certain pages of like just the one at a time of like things I'm still working through. This book, I would say, okay, so it says here that 6 Ways is a handbook of magic and sorcery rooted in witchcraft, folk magic, chaos magic, and animistic spirit work. Yes, that's what I love. And then it says subjects covered include sigils, servitors, meditation, trance, spiritual cleansings, warding, dream sorcery, candle magic, talismanic magic, vessel work, and tending to the spirit ecologies we live with and in. Yes, tending to the spirit ecologies we live with and in. Hell yeah. Okay, so he is cool. I really like this book. It's like this is stuff that I do, and like these are the things I enjoy. This is the book that I would like recommend to people who are like, would you recommend like a beginner's book or something? But also to people who have like a handle on things in a way, just to like in some respects bring it back to basics, but also just like feels sort of like shooting the shit with your friends in a way. Okay, so something else I like to do, and I should have mentioned this about the other books too, is like going into the back and like suggested reading, or like the books they're sort of referencing in the bottom, and just being like, yeah, I love that book too. Like I've been enjoying that about books lately. So another thing that I really like about this book and his writing, I have his other book as well, and I'm going to read it. Let's see. should have found it. So in the book he has like little things, little footnotes, and sometimes it'll be like in the directions in the book it'll say do you can sit and do this, and then in the note he'll just say if you can't sit, don't sit, it's totally fine. Like a lot of like really like great like notes on God, why can't I think of words? Like accommodating people of like all different types. And I think that that's really fucking cool. Like I just think that's really cool, and it's like necessary. And because when you're like starting something new and you're like into it, if it doesn't feel like it can feel like you can't ask questions and stuff like that, or like it feels like you're doing it wrong. And he's just like, you're not, it's fine, like whatever you're doing is great. I really like it. So this is a book that I read, and I'm like dipping back into to do certain practices that he was talking about that I found compelling. And like I said, I would say it's a beginner's book. But again, approaches and entries. So the reason I feel that way, maybe it's because like a lot of this does reflect my practice, or like things that I'm agreeing with or something. But yeah, cool stuff. He also has some blogs that I've been reading now as well, which I think is cool. And then I also got this book, but I haven't started it yet. But this is a book that since I finished that one, I will be reading alongside the other one that I'm slogging along with. But I love Corinne Boyer. But this one, I think I'm sort of like wondering, we'll just look at this. So it has autumn, and then midwinter, fairy wife, midsummer. And so it's sort of, I think something, this reminds me of Herbal Rituals, I think is the name of the book. It's one of my favorite books. I can see the cover and everything. My mom got it for me a few years ago for my birthday. And it's sort of separated into seasons, or like the time of year. And so I don't think that this is one that I'm going to be just like plowing through, though I probably will. But like that other book, I will be sort of going back into it at a different time when like it comes up. But it looks so good, and I love this actually, now that I'm looking at it too, it looks a little different. This looks like other books by Corinne Boyer that I've read are just sort of like lore things where she's pulling a lot of information from a lot of different sources, which I really like. But this looks like sort of a personal lore thing. Love that. Okay, I'm really excited about this book. And it also starts in autumn, and that's where we are. In time and space. Okay, so decks that I've been working with. I've been doing Stolen Child Tarot. This is what I've been hanging out with. And yeah, I've talked about it before. I love this deck. It's great. It's great for all times of year, too, if you're into that. Okay, cool. Sick. Another deck that I've been using is the Anna K. I've been using this deck since Three Girls, One Deck crew were slamming. We're just like, well, not, Sarah Sunset Bow was not, but like, but I was watching, I wasn't there, so I couldn't like, but I was getting like defensive watching the playback. I was like, oh man, I wish I was there. I love this deck so much. I'm with you, Sarah. Like, it's so good. Yeah, I love it so much. And I'm sorry, I'm just like laughing about like getting so upset and heated about it. Not like actually, you know, but just like, you know, defending your deck. Like, hey man. I just think it's funny. But yeah, I really love this deck, so I've been using this. It's always like one that I come back to like a lot. Same with the Stolen Child, honestly. But I don't know. It's just one of my faves. It just like looks like real people, you know. It's sort of like a British TV in that way, where like people in like US TV don't look like real people at all. But you know, these look like real people. I don't care what any of you say. This is like a real person. Oh yeah, it's just so good. Also, recently I watched decks, hashtag like decks of the decades. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the tag, but Sylvan Deadly Sins. I don't know if that's how you say your name. I'm so sorry. But like, I love you and I love your channel, even though you've only done 2 videos. But I think you're so great. He was talking about this deck too, and in just like such a way, I was just like, yes, like go off, yes, like agree. It's just like the yellow and like the colors and stuff like that. I'm being silly now, but yeah, so I'll like link all those videos that I've just mentioned down below, but I've been using this deck and really enjoying it, as always, every day of my life, when it's around. And I think those are like the ones of note that have been like the most consistent. And then I've gotten some new decks. Are you ready for this? Okay, so I got this deck, the Hedge Botanical Oracle. It comes in one of these huge as shit obnoxious boxes and has a nice guidebook. The deck is quite small. I think it's only 40 cards. So I got this because I love plants, and plants are, I work with like plant spirits, and stuff like that. Whatever. I'm planning a video. I don't know, man. I keep filming the video. I filmed it like 5 times or more, and it's just like, it's something that's so important to me that it's just like never good enough, you know? I just can't do it. But anyway, I got this because I'm always interested in a plant deck, and I've been sort of jonesing for one, and I'm always curious. And I don't think I like this one. I love the backs. They're really cool. It's Dandelion. Look at that. What a beautiful buddy. And so I have like my own things, and I do think it's interesting because they're sort of, from what I can tell, I haven't really used it because I kind of just decided I don't like it. The worst. That's cool. I do like the art though, but I have some things to say about it too. So they're mostly talking about the like, you know, like herbal, not necessarily like occult or like spirit things, I guess. There is like an overlap in a lot of ways, but I was sort of thinking that I could just like chop this off and just have it be this way. But I do have beef with the cards as well. They're really, really, really beautiful for sure. But in some of them, you can see that there's no green. And in some of them, for instance, okay, well now there's a bunch with green, of course. God. But there's just like, I guess, oh my God, now they all have green. What the hell? Okay. I'm definitely going to still use them. I just think I have to cut off the bottom name. But I guess there was just this one card, like clover. Clover to me, like the green leaves, it's an important aspect. I think this calendula looks weird. But anyway, burdock, that's the one. For me, burdock is really about those big, like Jurassic Park looking leaves, you know? So I don't know. I'm still, okay, here we go. The ones that just don't have any. Okay, fine. There's only like a few that don't have any green. Fine. I don't know. I think I would have passed, even though I'm going to find a way. And I think that maybe now that I'm looking at it, I kind of do like it. But the hunt continues, my friends, for the right plant decks for me. Okay. Comes in a little bag. So in my last video, I was geeking out about a poisonous plant deck, like wishing that existed, and also was talking about the Dale Pendell poison books. And then the covers had this, you were right there with me in the discovery. It's the Charta Lucaria, and it's from Jost Ammon from 1588, and I found it. I've done it. It's real tiny. It's just like a tiny little papery deck. I like found it immediately after. I did like an unboxing, but I wasn't feeling well, and so it was very low energy, and I don't know, I didn't like it. So here we are, just talking about them all at once. So it's just like a little information, 52 card deck. So like I said in the other video, it was like a book that had like sayings underneath the images and stuff. And so this deck uses books, jars, printers, ink pads, and cups. I think the printers, ink pads look like mushrooms, kind of. So we have cups and books, and these are the printers' ink pads. See them? See that? I mean, I get it, I guess, now that I know, but I like to think that they're mushrooms. Look at them. And then the jars, I guess. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is what happened. This is there's like a little nick in one of them. Don't care. So I was searching on the internet useless. I went to Instagram, you guys, that's where you keep all the deck info. And I found someone whose name was the Charta Lucario, and was sort of like, oh my God, like geeking out, and like asked them where they got it. And before they could answer, I had found it on a different page. Like it was like the third person's page that I saw, and they left a link to where they got it. And it was like $5 from like historicalgames.com. And there are other ones too. So anyway, so sick. Really glad. So that's a new deck that I got, if you can call it that. I feel like this is just, I mean, it's obviously a deck, but is it a deck if it costs $5? Sorry. Okay, then the other deck that I just got from the Kickstarter is the Nicholas Convert Tarot de Marseille from Artisan Tarot. And there's like a Discord group for them. And I was like, I just got my deck. And he's like, what do you think? And I was like, smells like celery. Like, I just like haven't messed with it really. I've been reading with it today a little bit. Sorry, I'm doing it in such a way where you can't even see, but it's great. I love it so much. It does smell like celery. I like it. I do like the sort of papery, shitty like ones, when it looks like this, I guess. This does not look shitty. This looks great. But when it sort of looks like old, this is a bad example, maybe. But you know what I mean, right? Like when it looks printed in an odd fashion. But I also like this. This is sort of, I want to say like similar to like Pagan Otherworlds cardstock, maybe. Definitely smells weird. Like really strong celery. But I think it's so beautiful. Something about Marseille and like historical decks too, the way that people's faces and eyes look make me feel I can't think of like a word to describe it. I can only describe how like where in my body it is. It's just like the sides of like my stomach in a way. anyway. Sorry if that's weird. I really love it. I love the colors. The sort of like a red, and then the black, and then this like sky blue. But the red isn't like a red, is it? I don't know. It's hard to. I feel like it's almost like a little bit orange in a way. Like it's definitely like a warm toned red instead of a cool toned red. But yeah, I really love it. So I'm really excited to have that. Thank you so much, Artisan Tarot, for making these decks. Doing your thing. Okay, so that's like new in and what I've been using. And so I haven't really decided. I'm doing the Shadow Journey in November that Manamqua is doing on their Instagram and their Patreon. And I haven't like totally decided which deck or decks that I would be using. I'm sort of leaning Nicoletta Ciccoli. But also I need to like film with it first for a thing. But maybe not. So I'm thinking this. Maybe. Or a similarly intense and upsetting in a specific, not like upsetting, like sort of upsetting, I can't think of the way to say it, like it moves things around, I guess. The Black Tarot, but that might be like a little too much, or like a little too like, that one might be it. Anyway, so I'm still thinking about it, though it is November, and you know, the time to decide is now. So yeah, I'm sort of leaning that way, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm like avoiding it and there's like something to that, you know? Like, maybe not. I like to think too hard about stuff. Okay, so I've made this video talking about this book a bunch of times. I've had this book for a while now, and I've read it like a bunch. And this is like my new favorite book. And it's a new altar book for sure. And I'm definitely like getting another copy to give away sometime. I'm obsessed with it, you guys. It's insane. Okay, maybe you'll hate it though. So Dale Pendell he writes my favorite poisonous plants books. So this book is called The Language of Birds, Some Notes on Chance and Divination. And I got this, it's been months now, and I've been trying to figure out how to tell you. And also not wanting to, because sort of just wanting to like sit with it on my own kind of thing. And it was one of those things, I do this quite frequently, where like I'll start reading a book kind of late at night and I'm like, it'll be fine. And then I stay up all night reading the whole fucking thing or something. And that's what happened with this book. Cause it's like this, you know, there's a list poem throughout the book, and it's written very similarly to his other book, his other Poisonous Plants book. I was looking to see if I have them right here, which I do, but they're under a bunch of other stuff and I don't want to create an avalanche. So it's that same, where there's like a lot of, it's like poems and like quotes and history. So it has like the definitions of the root words in Latin and Greek. And the list poem throughout is different types of Mancy, you know. Oops. Oh no. Okay. Ambulomancy is divination by walking. Erythromancy, divination by means of numbers. The serpent in the tree offering knowledge, Mercury's snakes, the hermetic power, the interpretation of signs, that which poisons single vision. So in the foreword, so it talks about how he wrote this book after writing a different book about a friend. And the friend had once filtered all of his philosophy down to a single inquiry. The basic question is whether chance is blind. You could reword this to ask, can the future be seen? He spoke of his own writings as taking a form so perishable that it cannot be hoarded by any elite or stored by any institution. He did this by using fragmentary voices to seek a harmony of vision. Pendel, with his anarchist cock of the head towards institutions, also employed the use of many voices, but he set those multiple voices to mock, insult, contradict, and knock each other off balance. Not multiple voices to advance a single way of thinking. Multiple voices to reveal both what will come to pass and what will not, what is for sure and what could never be. Dale set out to wreck the law of non-contradiction. He found a language he wanted in oracles, in the Pythoness, in one whose words carry mixed messages. This could drive you mad. Many voices coming at you, sly, taunting, satirical, one moment agreeing with each other, the next bickering. Friends would now and then caution him, nervous that madness lies in that direction, but Dale knew his Greeks and their thought and their etymologies. He had read E.R. Dobbs. The association of prophecy and madness belongs to the Indo-European stock of ideas. Both come from the same etymological root. Mancy is mania. The language of birds is about reading signs and symbols. It is about recognizing that things are symbols of themselves, but also symbols of other things. Everything points to something not itself. This would be a good first definition of ecology. The skilled outdoorsman, hunter, or scientist watches and listens to the birds, since their calls or their silence disclose the presence of other animals, particularly predators. Hawk, weasel, gray fox, mountain lion. Even no voice at all gives powerful counsel. Notice the Lisp poem that forms the backbone of this book, an alphabetical string of Mancy's methods of divination. During the European Middle Ages, scholars catalogued oracular practices, listing them in grimoires, books of magic. If the word sounds like grammar, well, that's where it comes from. All magic depends on how you read. Names for divinatory practices carry two endings. Those thought intuitive or mystical take the ending mancy. Those based on science receive scopi, which means to observe. Some practices take either ending. So I really like this also because I have to receive some scoppies and I'm pretty nervous about it, but to have it reframed in this way of like, a doctor divining from my colon. I really like that. I can relate to that. But anyway, I cried like 3 times the first time I read this book, and I've cried several times since then. It's really great. I love it so much. And I just wanted to tell you that I'm in love, and it's with a book. And this is it. It's always Dale Pendel, man. Anyway, that's all that. So I guess that's it. Thanks.